This is Ashton Marcus, and I'm on location at International City Theater for their presentation of Daddy Longlegs. Hi, my name is Ashton Marcus. I'm with KUCI 88.9 FM in Irvine, and I'm here with
Mary Jo Duprey. I directed Daddy Longlegs, the musical, at International City Theater, and we had our opening night.
Great. So, question. What did you like most about this experience?
The actors. They were so sublime and talented, and it was just so easy to work with them, and they're the best people, and the material and the music is so beautiful, and it was just such a treat to sit in rehearsal and listen to them sing this beautiful material day in and day out.
For those who aren't familiar with the story, what's the story about?
Well, it's a love story primarily about a young orphan who is having her college education paid for, and she is writing a series of letters to her donor, and not knowing that he's actually a young man, and they fall in love through a series of letters. Yeah.
What I liked about it was the character development of basically, you know how socially it's so hard to date nowadays? So it's kind of like you have the internet where you do letters to one another, and it's so awkward. It's kind of like, who am I? Who are you? You know, what should I say? Should I say the truth or not? You know what I mean?
I think there's a difference between handwritten letters and texting, because I did think about that a lot myself. And I think there's a more thoughtfulness in it when you're writing handwritten letters. And also, the time of the play actually goes across 4 years, so there's a lot of patience. There's a lot of time for them to sort of think about each other and let certain events sink in, and there's not a real rush or push to make things happen very quickly. And I think that is another thing that's very different in that time period.
What I'm surprised about, again, this is quite a while ago. This was, again, before women can vote. But it's so bizarre how little has changed socially. It's like this man who's very wealthy, very powerful, can give her anything. Still, he's very awkward, very shy, very, do I deserve this? I mean, am I being the real me? I mean, I don't even know who the real me is. You know what I mean?
Yeah, there's a lot of issues that are very complex. I mean, there's money issues, there's power issues, there's equality issues between the two of them, but there's also who they are as characters with their own flaws and their own insecurities and their own desires. So it's a really complex relationship that develops between them, and the way he kind of slips into, hiding his identity, like he doesn't really mean to, but then he starts to fall in love with her, and he sort of sets his own trap for himself and wants to get out, but he feels so bad about what he's doing, but he's so in love with her, and it's complicated. A lot of people have seen it and said that they were talking about it for hours afterwards, which is great.
I also love your choice of casting. What do you look for in your casting?
Honesty. Of course, in a musical, you want the voices to be there, and both of these actors have the most beautiful voices. You could just listen to them sing for hours and hours, but they're just very honest and vulnerable and specific actors, and it's just they made my job very, very easy.
I'm actually very familiar with the actors too, because I cover a lot of musical theater, and I've met them several times. You did a fantastic job of choosing them. I especially like Dino because he's kind of a little understated. He's not really like Hugh Jackman, bigger than life, tall. Just look at me. You can't help but fall in love with it. He does a lot of hard work. He does the things right, and that's part of the quality of the work he does.
Absolutely. And I was looking for an actor who could, not hide behind a bravado. I think it's really important for that character to be able to be vulnerable and to sort of struggle with his own identity, as you just mentioned, and his own feelings. And I needed an actor that was, really able to do that. And Dino just, he knows how to do it.
Well, once again, I really love the performance. Thank you very much for being on the show.
Thank you very much.
Hi, my name is Ashton Marcus. I'm with KUCI 88.9 FM in Irvine. I'm here with
Ashley Ruth Jones. I am a Southern California resident from Santa Clarita. I went to school at UCLA for musical theater and still living in LA and doing theater all around our city.
Okay, and which character did you play?
I played Jerusha Abbott. Jerusha is so fiery and spunky and passionate. She comes from a very lonely childhood as an orphan, but ends up getting this opportunity to go to college and sees her entire future and her entire life just blossom. She's so passionate, and it's something that I hope to take away from her when I'm done with this role. I I love her so much.
I definitely agree with you because the story is basically centered around her. She is actually the lead character. It is her life that we're talking about.
Yeah, the character writes these letters to Daddy Longlegs, and those actually make up the entire text of our show. So a lot of what we're getting of the world and of the time is from Jerusha's perspective.
I'm surprised also how little things have changed because now that we have the internet, we meet people online, we don't see each other, we communicate, we don't know what we're going to say, how much of the truth we're going to tell, you know what I mean?
Absolutely, yes. But there is an intimacy that I know we've all remarked on a lot in the letter writing that we don't quite have in our short, small text messages or our Facebook messages. And that does create such an intimacy and such a commonality between these two people. And that is what allows Jervis to fall in love with her, because he gets to see so much of what she is.
Also, see, it's kind of like, first of all, it's a coming of age story because it's like she's growing up, but in a sense she's discovering herself too. He's discovering himself too, because it's almost like they don't even know who they are until they write to each other. By just writing it down, it almost like it makes it a fact. Here I'm writing about this. This is what is about me, and suddenly it becomes about me. You know what I mean?
Absolutely, yeah. I went into this story thinking that it isn't necessarily a love story that she has to fall in love with him. She's complete until she falls in love with him. I do agree. I think that she falls in love with herself first, and that is such a beautiful thing to see play out on stage. And so amazing to have a female character whose journey is centered around that. And she's only made more whole and more enriched by the relationship that she has with him, but it starts with her.
Once again, I really loved your performance. I loved your singing. I loved the style of the music. It was very emotional. You know what I mean? For a romance, it didn't push you into tears. It actually pushed you more into sadness. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, I think that that's due in part to the way that the score is created. It's so intimate. We only have a piano, a cello, and a guitar on stage with us. And so that creates already, we're talking about intimacy, such a small, powerful sound. And I just love some strings. I love them, and they're so beautifully written in this show. Yeah, I think the score is stunning and so fitting for the story that we're telling.
Once again, I love the performance. Thank you very much for being on the show.
Thank you so much.
Hi, my name is Ashton Marcus. I'm with KUCI 88.9 FM in Irvine. And I'm here with
Dino Nicandros from Houston, Texas, originally, a Pepperdine graduate. And I've been working professionally in LA for just about 5 years now. And this is my first time with International City Theater, but it's a great experience.
Great. And which character did you play?
I played Jervis Pendleton. Jervis is an interesting guy. He's very rich and has a big old inheritance. He's a trustee at an orphanage, and he looks after orphans, and he reads this essay that this girl sends him, and she kind of changes his life. So he plays some word games with her, and doesn't reveal his true identity, but gets to know her through letter writing, and they eventually fall for each other, and yeah, he has kind of a cathartic change of heart.
I really love the way you played the character because it reminds me a lot of the social areas nowadays. It's like you meet people through the internet, you write to them. Yeah, and it's kind of like, what should I say? Do I want to tell them the truth? No, maybe I should lie. Maybe, you know what I mean?
Well, and the charm of it is that, and you just said it, was that letter writing is such a lost art, and it is an art form, because I think it was our music director, Bill, who said you really have to think about what you're going to say when you write. You don't get to delete it like a text message. You really have to put thought and meaning into what you're saying, and it's really powerful that these two get to know each other without ever seeing each other. Well, knowingly seeing each other. They see each other, but they don't know that that's who they're communicating with. But yeah, it's a really interesting thing. The letters are at the heart of the show.
I also like the fact that, well, first of all, I like your brand. First of all, I've always been a fan of your singing. I've always been a fan of your acting. And I've always been a rooter for you because you're like a normal guy. It's not like you're Hugh Jackman where you're 6'6", you're tall, you're beautiful. You say, hey, everyone, you're supposed to like me because I'm beautiful. You know what I mean? You're one of us. You know what I mean?
God bless you. Thank you. That's all I can say. Thank you.
Once again, love your performance. I always love your stuff. Thank you very much for being on the show.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you.
Daddy Longlegs will be playing at International City Theater from February 21st to March 11th. For more information, go to www.internationalcitytheater.org.